It's not just Comet Atlas that we have coming at us. There's a new comet approaching Earth's orbit. Comet Atlas, we know, will be at us around the 23rd of May. And we can see it now in the western sky. And it will be at us 23rd of May and at the sun of 31st. It's already fragmenting. This is a picture of the Comet Atlas. And this is the orbit of the new comet coming at us, Comet Swan 220. It was again discovered this year. We know Comet Atlas was discovered the 19th of December. And now astronomers have discovered a huge comet which is due to swing by the orbit of our Earth and the inner planets. Over the past year, astronomers have been keeping an eye on Comet Atlas, which is set to travel all the way through the solar system as it was pulled towards our sun. But observations of the past week have revealed the comet has begun to disintegrate, to fragment. It's fragmenting, it's falling apart. And the astronomers' hopes that they would get a close-up look of Comet Atlas as it passes the Earth are diminishing. But now there's a new comet that has been discovered due to make its way by Earth's orbit and the inner planets of Mercury and Venus. The comet is Comet Swan, C220F8. It was discovered just a few days ago, April 11th. And like Atlas was meant to, it will arrive at the orbit of Mercury in late May. Now, this is just too much of a coincidence. They're coming in pieces, big comets, and they're coming out just about the same time. The comet was first discovered by Michael Mitazzo of Swan Hill, Victoria, Australia, when he was analyzing data from the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory SOHO SWAN instrument, hence the name SWAN. Carl Badams of the Naval Research Lab in Washington, D.C., told Space Weather, for SWAN to see a comet, it means the comet must be producing a fairly significant amount of hydrogen. Thus, this is usually in the form of water ice, and it's extremely likely that Comet Swan is in outburst mode. That is, some major eruption happened to its otherwise small and faint comet, realizing and releasing a massive cloud of hydrogen-rich volatiles. And he goes on to say Swan is picking up on this sudden dump of hydrogen into the inner solar system. If the outburst continues at this rate, it could mean that Swan becomes visible to the naked eye in a month. Okay, now we know that Comet Atlas, we have to use binoculars or a telescope to see, but Comet Swan in a month could be visible without a telescope and binoculars. We could see it with our own eyes. And he continues to say, I doubt that the comet will maintain its current impressive appearance and will quite possibly fade away soon, but we've only been viewing it for a couple of days now, so no one really knows. Now, asteroid, comets, meteors, and meteoroids, what's the difference? The meteoroid, much smaller rock or particle in orbit around the sun. The meteor, if a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere and vaporizes, it becomes a meteor, which is often called a shooting star or a fireball. Meteorites, if a small asteroid or large meteoroid survives its fiery passage through the Earth's atmosphere and lands on the Earth's surface, it's then called a meteorite. An asteroid, these are rocky fragments left over from the beginning of our solar system, and they could be quite big. Whereas comets have ice on them, cosmic snowballs of gas and dust that make sweeping orbits around our sun. NASA estimates there are currently 839,880 known asteroids and 3,596 known comets. Now, astronomers hoped that Comet Atlas would hold on until it got close enough to the sun so it would be visible in the night sky as Venus, which looks like a bright star, but latest observations reveal that it's began to fragment. It's breaking up. Astronomers believe it was crumbling apart as its biggest dip began, suggesting it was not as big as it once was. Researchers from the Lulin 1-meter telescope in Taiwan confirmed it was falling apart, with one fragment being 3,400 kilometers ahead of the trailing pair. So that's pretty big, a fragment being 3,400 kilometers. And the Comet Atlas, we know, has made its orbit about between 4,500 to 6,000 years, So they were telling us that the last time it came around us was at the time of the ancient Egyptians. And now we have this one, Comet Swan, coming at us, and we'll be able to see it just about the same time, the end of May. This is on Express UK by Sean Martin. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.